cold lake in the middle of the night, the alarm bells burst into life in the hangar. Set off by the night watch guards, the piercing shriek of the horns blasted everybody in the vicinity out of their beds, and the red warning lights frantically flashed inside the main hangar room. Both Cunningham and Graham are back in the control room within 2 minutes of the alarm going off. They push through the door, almost stumbling over each other, and lurch towards the thick glass panel. The general arrived seconds later, still pulling his jacket on and peering through small eyes. "What is it? What happened?" shouted the commanding officer to the two men standing in front of the window. "Seems the night watch hit the alarm," shouted Graham through the noise. "Don't know why yet, though," he added. Cunningham had already moved to one of the two monitoring systems and was trying to assess the situation. He punched the keyboard of the intercom system and shouted instructions for anyone in the hangar to get out immediately while he dropped into the swiveling seat at the screen. Virtually at the same time, an image of the night watch guard appeared on a display close to Graham and started to talk. "Sir, Mr. Graham, sir, we have a change of events here, sir," he blurted nervously. "What is it?" shouted Graham. "And turn the damn alarms off, I can hardly understand you." 4 seconds passed, and then the alarms cut, although the red lights continued to flash, throwing harsh, moving shadows around the main room of the hangar. Several other technicians now appeared in the control room and swiftly moved to the control systems they were responsible for, brushing the sleep out of their eyes and straightening ruffled hair in the process. The night guard looked briefly over his shoulder at the black object in the background, and then faced the monitor again. "Sir, can you see the ring of lights that has appeared on the fuselage?" Cunningham, Graham, and the general peered into the main surveillance monitor directed directly at X1 2016. There, sure enough, they could see clearly a set of blue LED-like bright lights in a broad ring formation on the fuselage, not far from the nose cone of the object. They seemed to glow very slightly, but were obviously there for a purpose and had not been visible there before. The lights lit up alternately, giving the impression of a circling, swirling motion that seemed almost menacing. "Get the armed guards back in there immediately," barked Marshall into the microphone. "Now!" He underlined the command with determination. "Any change in any other parameters of the object?" called out Graham to the other technicians in the control room. Shaking heads and small gestures around the room signaled that nothing else had changed, and so no immediate threat to personnel could be assumed. Marshall's eyes returned to the glass panel, fixed on the new lights on the object, as a group of armed guards poured through 3 side doors into the hangar, rapidly taking up position with automatic weapons directed at X1 2016. The low lights in the hangar, the flashing red alarm lights, added to the tense scene. But the focus of all eyes was on the revolving blue lights of X1 2016. "Look! Look!" gasped Graham, pointing at the window. "The lights are moving apart." Cunningham and Marshall stared intensely as the guards in the hangar grasped their weapons firmly and pulled themselves back slightly behind the protection of various pieces of equipment that were distributed in the large room. Sure enough, the swirling blue lights changed from being a circle to a more oval-shaped pattern, and then to a rectangle with rounded corners. Their intensity grew as the light's frequency increased until it finally formed a solid line that looked uncannily like the outline of a hatched doorway in the fuselage of an airplane. Everyone in the hangar was now gathered at the windows, staring in expectation, while the guards' perspiration ran into their eyes as they peered down their gun sights and their sweaty hands gripped their weapons. Then, a chink of intensive white light appeared at the outline of the door on X1 2016, like the first rays of sunlight to appear when a door is opened in an old house at sunrise. The tension was unbearable as everybody stared on, and the chink of light grew larger and more intense. "Absolutely no shooting unless I say so," bellowed Marshall into the hangar, slightly distracting the nervous guards scattered around the room in various positions behind whatever cover they could find. The door or hatch of X-1 2016 slowly opened as it seemed to fade away to the middle, giving way to a piercing white-blue light emanating from the object, making it impossible to peer inside. It took about 2 minutes, and then the entire opening was completely free, and harsh rays of light streamed out into the hangar, casting new shadows and blinding the onlookers. Then, silently, a silhouette very slowly moved into the light and stepped into the center of the door. It was hard to make it out properly, but to all peering at the door through squinted eyes, it looked definitely humanoid and somewhat large. The tension endured, seeming to last for an eternity, and then slowly, a horizontal bright blue bar of light appeared from the bottom of the door. It then dropped down until it pointed to the floor of the hangar, giving a visual impression of a ramp made of a blue laser beam passing through smoke, making it look solid. Then the figure moved again, slowly stepping forward onto the ramp of light, before gradually emerging from the fuselage. For a moment the figure stood there, bathed in light, turning its head as if to scan the scene ahead. Then it graciously stepped forward and down on the ramp of light towards the hangar floor, as the light from X-1 2016 behind it gradually reduced in intensity, making it easier for the congregation to see more clearly. The figure was dressed in a completely sealed, single-piece, skin-tight suit that looked as if it were made of millions of blue sequins, so that every beam of light that touched it caused it to sparkle brightly in blue, almost as if it was made of pure electricity. A metallic blue helmet with a black visor was all the viewers could see of the figure's head. A blue halo had appeared above the helmet and threw blue light down onto the body of the figure. It stayed above the helmet when the figure moved. The figure paused at the end of the ramp and then stepped carefully onto the hangar floor. The guards continued to keep it in their sights as the figure very slowly raised its right hand in a welcoming gesture, much like that which had once been inscribed on the golden plate of Earth's Voyager space probe. It stood there iconically for a short while, and then gradually lowered its hand and waited.